upset. You won't be upset.
No, frustrated, banging on tables.
No.
Hitting that stapler extra hard.
When she's sleeping, I jerk off in her face. What I'm saying is, let's say it's involved. Like if it's something that has other coworkers, then it becomes tough because now there's other people. It's not just you and her. There's other people that's in the mix. Now, if it's about, you didn't give me none last night, fine, whatever. Like I said, whatever.
I keep it on low. I'm not going to say anything just because I don't want you to say anything because there potentially might be somebody else that I would like to talk to as well. You know what I'm
All right.
You know
now,
what I mean?
this is Black of Thought speaking, and I kind of agree with Publick. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say keep this on the low. I'm not gonna say let's make this public. I'm just gonna approach it and I'm gonna talk to you because people are gonna find out anyway. People are gonna look at you. People are gonna see how you guys act. People are gonna notice that you two go to the bathroom at the same time. People are gonna notice that you guys go to lunch at the same time. So
who does that? Yo, what y'all doing on y'all lunch on y'all bathroom?
People know that, right? People notice that you guys get up at the same time, go to lunch together. You guys come in, they're gonna know. So there's no need to put it out there yourself.
I will
People
say
gonna find
this.
out.
I'm sorry. I will say this: if you're dating someone on the job and that's your girl, I think trying to get a side piece on the job could be disastrous.
Boy, let me tell you, that's common sense.
No. But what I'm saying is, okay, so if I meet someone on the job, I would want to keep it on the low, my business. Now, if they speculate and they say, okay, well, Core and Bonquisha are together, fine, let them speculate, but I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? So they can assume what they want, but I won't tell them, and I'll say to her,
I agree with you.
And I'll let her know, hey, babe, I'm not ashamed of you, but I don't want people in our business, so don't tell anyone. If they want to speculate, fine.
Hold on, Victory. Hold on, Corey. Let me ask you this one particular question. What if she...
No, I'm not a virgin.
What if she's a 10? What if she's a diamond? Every other guy at that job wants to get with her. What would you say then? I know you're going to tell people.
No. No, you know why? No, because...
My piece.
No, because like I said... Like you said before, you let her deal with that. If other dudes are trying to holler at her, you let her deal with that. You don't step in. Now, if it's a situation where you have to step in, that's different. I don't care if she's $1. I don't say anything. I let.
All right.
Dudes are trying to flirt. I let them.
All right. So check it. So let me just ask everybody individually now. So all right. So what do you guys think? What are the pros of workplace romances? You think, in your eyes, in your opinion?
You guys, I guess, share the same interests if you're working together.
And
that's
if
one.
you guys, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but if you guys are one that love to be around your mate constantly, I think it's also a pro. You guys work on the same job, so like you were saying, you share the same interests, so you could be driving in the car and you'll always have something to talk about because there's something on the job pertaining to the conversation.
For me, carpooling. Carpooling is a plus.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Cheap on gas. Lunch.
Especially these days.
Lunch, we're going to alternate lunch. Who pays for lunch? Nah, but on a serious note, I think it's a plus because you really get to understand the person's work ethic. I think you really get to understand the individual, not necessarily the person while you're in the bedroom at home. The key thing is to really recognize that person if they come to work late or if they always complain about every little thing. Because eventually you're going to start complaining about every little thing with you.
So what do you guys think are some of the cons of workplace romances?
This is Black Thought. For me, I think you'll get tired of the person, for one. Sometimes you'll find that the other person may be clingy. A lot of people talking about your business, even though you think you've got it covered, you think it's well and good and quiet, people know what's going on. I don't care how well you think you've got it covered, they know.
I think for the cons, is you've seen that person every day. You don't get tired of them, man. You know what I'm saying? You have the opportunity to be like, damn, I wish I could take a break. Me, I'd rather quit than see that person every day. What about you, Corey?
I think one of the cons is if you guys break up and it's ugly, it can be disastrous, especially if you guys invested a lot in the relationship and it was an ugly breakup because not so much of irreconcilable differences or something that's on an amicable front. If you guys break up and it's ugly and you guys work closely alongside each other, then they can cause a lot of problems on the job.
And I was also thinking there might be, another one. You're working with this person. This person might have another life outside of work. You know, they might have another partner outside. You know what I mean? That they treat as nice as you. You know, that they do. You know, that you think you're the only one, but you're not. You know, so a lot of people, you know, tend to think, okay, you know, this is us. We're here at work, and you think this is, you know, this is a lovey-dovey relationship. No, there might be something else going on outside.
And one more thing too is, I mean, I guess me being kind of a private person to an extent, if you're working with someone on the job that you're involved in, they know how much you make. So let's say, for instance, again, you're in a school. She's a principal. You're an assistant. She knows how much you make. And it's like, you really, unless you guys really get on that level where you're looking to establish and build something in the future, you kind of don't want your woman knowing how much you make and your financial status. That's just me personally. I could be speaking for the rest of you.
But that's a whole nother topic of discussion at
no,
some
but
point.
I'm saying
I'm not cutting you, but I'm agreeing with you. I mean, that's definitely
right.
a good point. I agree with that. But, you know, that we can save that, get into that deeper on a later show. For office romances, for me, how I look at it, man, I look at it from a fling standpoint. Man, the little office booty call thing you got going on there. Y'all hook up during lunch breaks, get your little, you know, midday nooner thing going on there, afternoon delight, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Y'all hook up, do your thing. You know, some people keep it in the office, in the boardrooms, in the meeting rooms, in the closet somewhere, or even in the stairwell, on an empty floor. Hey, there's all kind of ways. Maybe go out on a lunch break in a parking lot or something like that. To me, those are the positives.
But what if it goes from
I like those
to something
pros.
more though?
Well, it can always develop depending on how long you keep the fling going. So, I mean, I don't know the statistics behind this as far as like how many office flings turn into actual relationships. I know a lot of times, from conversations I've had with other people, that, you know, the fling thing is, you know, what they do for a little bit and then it's over with, you know. And then the tricky part is keeping it on the wraps and try to keep as much people out of the business as possible, trying to hide that relationship by, you know, when you come to work, you try to keep a professional interaction with this person, so in hopes that, you know, everybody else can't pick up on, you know, catch wind of what you guys have. But as Blacker Thought said, people always tend to know. But I mean, I think the pros are, you know, the flings. You know, it's exciting. You know what I mean? You do your thing. Y'all break away during the breaks and get things going. I mean, I've never really established a relationship per se while on the office. I mean, that's just an interesting dynamic to me. I can't say I've ever experienced that. You know what I mean? Where it blossomed to that point.
Victor, was that by choice?
Just by circumstance, really. Okay. You know, I mean, usually the way I look at it, and I assume that most people look at this that way, I could be perfectly wrong, is that, you know, when you embark upon something like that, it's usually just for a fling. You know, there's no intention to really take it much further than that.
I like your term, man. I like your term, afternoon delight. I like that.
So let me just put this on the table. So just to move this along. So what if you guys are seeing somebody at the office and they seem to be bringing unnecessary attention to your relationship? How do you guys deal with that?
You're gonna have to end that relationship. You know,
explain, Blacker Thought.
You know, I mean, why bring the extra attention? You know, this is where I work. I don't know how long I'm going to be with you. I don't know how long I'm going to be working here. I want to make the best of my situation.
Victor, what about you? Go ahead, boy.
Sorry, Victory, define attention. You mean like sending your flowers in a job, coming by your desk?
Well, any kind of attention, whether it be, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you're having a fling with this person and you're really trying to keep it on the low, and they're pretty much making it known that you guys have some kind of involvement, it could be problematic for you if that's not what you're looking for. If you don't want it to be public like that.
I think if it's a fling or something that's going to be serious, you have to lay the groundwork from jump. You got to let them know, look, this is our job first. Regardless of us, this job pays the bills for me. This job pays the bills for you. So I think that's something you lay from jump. And then if she is not in agreement with it, you just have to back off. No matter how good it is, just back off.
So you think that you're able to back off? Let's say, you know, the fling has been going, or the relationship, whatever type of relationship you have, has been going nice, but she's just unwilling to suppress her, you know, urges to display her attraction and interest in you and the relationship that you have. How do you deal with that? I mean, you think it's that easy to cut that off?
Well, you know what though? Again, your job, especially if it's a career where it involves a lot of growth and it pays your bills and keeps you going, that comes first before anything. Because at the end of the day, if you lose your job, unless she's willing to take care of you and hold you down or hold her down,
she's putting it down in the bedroom. You're gonna continue because you're gonna say to yourself like, "Damn, am I gonna find another one like this?"
Not your job, dude. No, not your job.
Yo,
like,
you can get other jobs. You can't get bombed. No, you can't get bombed.
Hey, but he's kind of right. Good stuff is hard to come by, yo.
If you lose this job,
good snapper is hard to come by, yo.
Say it's a good paying job, benefits the whole nine,
that
no
red
glass
snapper,
ceiling,
right?
and you lose this job over that. Like I said, unless she's willing to hold you down. No,
yo,
I'm not gonna lose my.
I think
job
it's easy. I think it's easy to say that if a girl's working with tuna, but if she got that red snapper,
yo,
boy,
that good.
I'm telling you, yo,
you do anything.
That good will have you
probably try to
late.
You'll take some abuse.
Wait. So you mean to tell me you guys are willing to lose your job over a piece of
good? Hell yeah.
Red snapper,
really?
Hell
you
yeah.
lose your job over that?
Yo,
listen,
you can always find another
You become
job.
entrepreneurial after that.
Wait a minute.
Make your
Wait a minute. We're not talking about my girl, my potential wife. We're talking about a booty call on the job. You're willing to lose your job?
We're talking
a booty
about
call?
good.
I
probably
that
Not
glue.
I'm sorry.
A girl that got that glue.
I don't care.
You
if
can't go nowhere.
I
You
don't
don't want
care
to
if
leave
I
it. You're
put
just
it in
stuck.
and I come immediately. I'm on putting it in. I'm not losing my job.
Because you haven't had that good.
All right, if you say
That's
so.
good.
You know, we're talking about all this good stuff here, but at the same time, I think we missed. You know, we're coming to an end now, but you know, maybe we can talk about this in a later, webisode or program. But a lot of these relationships, you know, workplace sexual attractions can turn into sexual harassment issues.
Exactly.
Where do we go from there? How do we handle that? But we'll save that for another time.
All right, so gentlemen, so let's just wrap this up really quick. This is something workplace romance, office romance, or shitting where you eat is a good idea.
This is Publick speaking. I'm going to jump in because absolutely, I feel like you have the potential to do what you have to do while at work and working at the same time.
Do you think it's worth the risk of jeopardizing your
It all
position?
depends on the good. If it's good enough, yes, you would drive 10 hours to get it. If it's good enough, you would stay behind work 6-7 hours doing BS to get it. So it's all about the good.
Go ahead, Core.
This is Core. I think it all depends on the people involved and not the vagina, so to speak. I just think it all depends on the people involved. If you know how to play your cards right, it can be very beneficial. If not, it can be very disastrous.
Go ahead, Blacker Thought.
I'm on the same wavelength as Core. I think it can be good, it can be bad. I think a lot of the times the workplace is, as I said before, a place where a lot of us run into people that we tend to date. So I wouldn't say it's that bad of a place to meet people. It just depends on how you handle the whole situation.
And Victory here. I'm just going to chime in with my final thoughts. I agree with Blacker Thought. I enjoy office romances, or have enjoyed office romances. I think they're perfectly fine for individuals to embark upon, just so long as you know the risks that you could possibly incur once doing that, in terms of, you know, how much you value your current position and your income, and how much of that you're willing to put on the line for some quick stuff, just in case that individual is the type of person to just blow up your spot at work. So it really just depends on the maturity of everyone involved in terms of approaching the relationship from a respectful manner, and also understanding the importance of segregating what goes on outside of work with what goes on inside of work. I just want to throw that question out to the audience. How do you guys feel about office romance? Is that something that you think is okay, that you would like to, you think is perfectly fine and it's worth the risk? Or is it something that you say is a complete no-no because there's too much risk involved, and, shitting where you eat is just not the best thing to do? So let us know. You can email us at minoritymensshow@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts. We'll be definitely interested in hearing some of that. Thanks again for joining us, and stay tuned. In 2 weeks, we'll drop another webisode.
We zoom like that. We out.